And I appreciate everything you've done for us here on Talking Metal. Yeah, John Bush, how great was that? I love talking with that guy. You know, I'd interviewed him actually once behind the scenes on Talking Metal. No, what am I saying? On That Metal Show, when I was the coordinating producer on the final season of That Metal Show. Got to interview him and Joey doing the backstage interviews before they went out and spoke with Don, Jim, and Eddie. I was the guy who did all the kind of online content with the guests backstage. So it was great talking with those guys then, but it was even better. I mean, John just really seemed like he was in a great mood on this phone call, more relaxed than I feel he was when I had him backstage at That Metal Show, which is always, everything's all frantic and a little hectic because it's a TV show, you know. So anyways, I just really enjoyed talking with John on this episode. So thanks for listening, and thanks to you, John. Please support Armored Saint. If you don't have the most recent studio album, definitely check it out. It's called Win Hands Down, and it is just an awesome record. And of course, this new live record will be out real soon, so be on the lookout for that too. Guy who I've loved since he was in Caius way back in the day, and you know, I really was a Caius fan. I kind of got into them at the tail end of their career. I'd gotten a free promotional Caius record when I was at working at VH1, and really dug them. And Tool started covering one of their songs, and then of course Queens of the Stone Age came along, and that even because Nick and Josh were in Queens of the Stone Age, and formerly of the band Caius, that really caused me to go back and even dive deeper into the Caius catalog. And man, what a voice on their singer. Caius, of course, the lead singer of Caius, John Garcia. So much great stuff he put out back with them, and not only with them, just through the years. I mean, this guy has continued to have band after band after band after album after album after album. And you know, he's not quite on the same level, obviously, as a guy like Josh from Queens of the Stone Age, who is out there filling really big theaters and playing to really big crowds and is able to make his living solely off of music. That's what Josh is able to do. John, it's a different story. And sometimes I mean, you got to have so much respect for a guy who goes and holds down a day job, but still is out there being an artist and giving us great art. I mean, I'm really impressed by this new acoustic record that John is putting out. And again, I went into it with reservations, knowing that he was redoing some of the old Caius classics. But when I heard them, wow, blown away. And if all you have ears for is sludgy guitars, big, you know, sludgy, loud guitars, this might not be the record for you, honestly. But if you are able to enjoy mellower style, more haunting style music, this is a real gem, this record. You know, kind of reminds me of, you know, Alice in Chains. They had the first two records came out, they were very heavy, and then they put out that Sap kind of acoustic record that was real haunting and stuff. Kind of a similar thing here. You know, John's doing something a little bit different musically, and he succeeds in my book. So this interview starts off a little abruptly. You know, usually when I start my interviews, I'm like, hey, it's Mark from Talking Metal, and on the line we have blah, blah, blah. John just immediately started talking as soon as he picked up the telephone when I called him. And luckily I had already hit record. At least I think I hit record right at the very beginning. You might miss the first couple words. I don't think so, though. But anyways, I didn't want to, just because he started really getting into it, like from the get-go, I didn't want to like say, okay, John, now we're going to do the real interview. So I kind of just rolled with it. So just letting you guys know that. And it's a great interview. John Garcia, great guy. A little bit of hum or buzz on the phone line. I'm going to try to clean that out the best I can for you guys, but just letting you know you might hear that a little bit, but nothing too bad. Nothing that'll distract from the interview. And on that note, let's go into some classic Caius right now, and then we will round things out by hearing some of John's new music off the new acoustic record that he has coming out, which is called The Coyote Who Spoke in Tongues. Again, this comes out next week, actually just in a few days. I think this actually comes out this Friday, so just in a few days. Check it out, okay? All right. Little old school Caius with Demon Cleaner here on Talking Metal, followed by my interview with John Garcia from the band Caius, now just going solo with John Garcia is the way he releases this new record that's coming out, the acoustic record. He actually had one under just the John Garcia name a few years back, but yeah, so this will be the second record that he releases as John Garcia. But again, right now, old school Caius here on Talking Metal, followed by my interview with John Garcia.
Thanks for calling. I was expecting your phone call.
Thanks for speaking with us. Cool. The album sounds
Absolutely.
great. Yeah, really digging it.
Oh, thanks, man. You know, Mark, it's not for everybody. People are accustomed to hearing, fuzzed out, distorted out, heavy duty, not super heavy, but rock music, in general. And so I'm getting critiqued and criticized, and but I'm used to it. So it is what it is, and Aaron, I thought my guitar player did an incredible job showing the songs, some of these Caius cover songs, an incredible amount of respect, and it was great, and actually an honor to work with him and writing some new material as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, definitely. There's a lot to talk about here. The Caius songs, the new material. Let's start right there. How much of the record is old Caius stuff reinvented, and how much of it is brand new material?
Okay, so it's about almost half and half. We did four Caius songs. 3 of them are cover songs, really. Brent Bjork wrote Green Machine. He wrote Gardenia. Those 2 songs, if you're familiar with those 2,
sure.
They're hard, heavy, a lot meaner. So to do them on the opposite side of the spectrum, where they're much softer, it's just a totally different take. 1, acoustically, and 2, they're not even being played similar, with the exception of the lyric and the lyric melody. Challenging, something that I've wanted to do. Why? Just because I wanted to, really. As far as Space Cadet is concerned, that Caius cover written by Josh and Scott, I never really liked the take I did, as a 20-something-year-old, the original version, and this was my way of me kind of a little bit of self-redemption, if you will, for that track. El Rodeo, doing it acoustically was a challenge, along with Ronnie King on keyboards, and that song is just enjoyable to sing. Aaron and I wrote, Kylie, Give Me 250 ml, the Hollingsworth Session, Court Order, and there's another one from my debut track, which is live, debut record, which is live. It's called The Boulevard. So, just it's not something that I wanted to, check off the bucket list. I'm, be 47 years old. I'm slowing down, want to do acoustic record. Nothing like that. It was more of just because, I wanted to try some stuff acoustically live. It wound up working out really great. Aaron and I had a drink from from Europe on the way to the United States, and we said, why don't we do a record of pretty much our set? And that's exactly what it is, pretty much.
Cool. Now, to kind of break it down as far as the actual songs go, I mean, the remake of Gardenia, just haunting. I mean, when I heard that, because I have to admit, going into this, I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for acoustic covers of the Kaya stuff. And I think Nick had done a couple acoustic covers of some Kaya stuff, which I thought was okay, but it didn't really grab me that much. No disrespect towards him, but these, like the Gardenia one, as soon as that acoustic guitar came in with that just haunting sound, it really pulled me in. I mean, you mentioned really some of the stuff is just the vocal melody that's the same as the old Kaya songs. How difficult was this to rearrange some of these older songs?
Mark, that was the enjoyable part of working it out. And that's exactly what we did, was just work it out. We sat down, with a bottle of vodka, and like we do in Aaron's place in Palm Springs, and we just started trying different ideas. And Aaron, along help, I've got to give credit where credit is due. A lot of some of these the slower version of Gardenia and Green Machine, that was really the tempo was really pushed by one of the producers of the record, Harper Hugg. He just said, slower. Right. And we were kind of questioning it, and then after hearing it, we said, you know what, let's do it, but let's slow it down even more, and let's turn it into something completely and totally different. That was the enjoyable part of doing so. So it wasn't difficult. It was more of just working it out. Some songs we tried. Even Tangy Zizzle, we tried, which is an old Kaya song. We tried that one. It didn't work out. Even an old Hermano song, it didn't work out. We went in the studio with, close to 15, expecting and knowing that we'd only push maybe, 8 or 9, 45, 48 minutes worth of music. So we always go in with more, expecting ones just not to make it. So, but, even though it was enjoyable, it's not something that we were accustomed to, going in the studio and recording an acoustic record. So we went in with the mindset of keeping it very, very simple. 3 guitars, really. 1 nylon, 1 12-string steel, 1 6-string steel. And we kept it simple. There's some blending in there. There's some percussion, some bass, and some keyboards from this super badass guy by the name of Ronnie King.
Sounds like a little organ on Space Cadet. Is that?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of different keys, some pianos, and a lot of different little percussion sounds that we kind of added for nuances and whatnot. But so yeah, we kept it simple. We tried to keep it as simple as we could and let the music really speak for itself, and don't fill up the song with vocals. Let the song breathe. Let it hang. Let it do it. So, again, Mark, I'm used to, critiques and comments, and this record's not for everybody. It's not going to be a record that you put on a Saturday night and you open up a bottle of Jack Daniels and you rage and party to it. It's not it. It's more of, this is more of you're driving down Route 66 and you want to throw on some tunes, and this is what it's there for. So, it was a great experimentation and it just being explorative, and that's exactly what it was. It was just us, Aaron and I, being explorative, and I think he did a great job. Aaron doesn't get enough credit for what he did, and I certainly want to let everybody know that who listens or reads this thing that Aaron Groban is a huge part of the writing force, and we're continuing to write for the new electric record. So we're already on to bigger and better things.
Wow! So there's an electric record coming at some point down the road.
We're about 3/4 of the way done with it, and so we're just finding the time to. Actually, that's always hard, finding enough time to go in and be with the guys. Everybody has families and full-time jobs, including me. So when we get a chance to go in there, we always